Good morning. I'm here with Dr. Anthony Kleinsmith of Anovite. Dr. Kleinsmith, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I want to set you up well to know who Dr. Kleinsmith is. I always feel honored to get his expertise and to have it where I can listen and re-listen and take notes because he is an expert in the field of colostrum. He is the best-selling author of a number of books that you can read on the subject of colostrum. That speaks volumes to me. And I've had the privilege of sitting under him and listening. If he's speaking about any of the products he formulates, my ear is very tuned and I'm always learning something. So we're here today to discuss colostrum. We're here to discuss why it would be a great food for anyone to use if they had no other food on the shelves. What
Mhm.
if what if I like to use this scenario? What if a tsunami hit? Lately, I've heard of hurricanes and tornadoes and seen a lot of destruction. We're going to look at a bigger picture for people who like to prep, who like to be ready for whatever may hit. So, we're going to look at colostrum in that manner. So, Doc, I want to jump in with you. I've heard you say this many times. I want to jump in with you and ask you the question. You have said, hey, if I was going to be on a deserted island, one of the three things I would like to have with me would be colostrum.
Mhm.
Why
Ab-
would that be? What's that going to do for me, my organs and systems, when I have no food?
Well, let's paint a whole picture. There's no fish, right? You are
Okay,
there by yourself, right? And
okay,
and the you've got to survive. Well, if you look at the makeup of colostrum with its proteins and fats and different things that are in there, you literally, I mean, this is our very first food, right? So as a baby, you're surviving, but you're thriving because it's jump-starting multiple systems all at the same time. Well, guess what? We have those same systems as an adult, right?
we
But
do.
as we get older, those systems are sort of, now they're not peaking, they're kind of waning. Well, we want to get those systems back to those youthful levels, right? But on top of that, if you're on a deserted island, you also need to eat, right? And at
Right.
50, at 48 to 52% protein, you're getting a meal. And at 18 to 22% fat, you're surviving, right?
Awesome.
Now
Wow.
you have a food that if everything went to, wearing a handbasket, right? You actually could survive on that island as long as you had water, right? You could survive on that island for as long as you had that whole food. So now the systems that it impacts, oh my goodness, even on that island, you're going to have immune situations, you're going to have different systems, right, that are going to have to adapt to a whole new environment, so to speak. Okay. And colostrum has over 100 different immune factors. It has 3,000 different peptides, right? As long as you don't
Wow.
manipulate it, we don't, right? We leave it alone. We take it at a very specific time frame and we leave it alone. We don't manipulate the fats or the proteins and anything else that a lot of other folks do for marketing. We leave it alone. Why? Because if you're on that island or if you're in a situation where there's no food on the shelf, you don't want to rely on something that's been manipulated and not giving you that full food value, right? Not to mention all the immune factors and growth factors and peptides and all the goodies that come with it that have an impact on every single system in your body. Because if you're in that situation, you want all systems working at the
Yeah,
very top levels.
for sure.
So,
For
as
sure.
an example, for me, even in my home, I have colostrum in my food storage. And every once in a while, I'll take a core out because it's 30 plus years old. And I'll send it off to a lab and say, I'm looking for any degradation, right? Did it decrease in its bioefficacy? And the tests always come back and say, how old is this? Because they know what I'm doing, right? But they're like, how old? I'm like, this is, I think my oldest is 36 years old with no degradation.
Wow.
So it's a nice food storage you can rely on. It's something that you can literally just spoon out and eat. You can make pancakes out of it. You can mix it with eggs. You can do all kinds of things because that fat gives it that protective barrier from heat. So even if you're cooking with it, which you're still going to do that in on that island, right?
That's
It's going
true.
to give you that protective barrier to keep all those bioactives, so that your body's now utilizing them, keeping you healthy, keeping you looking good on the outside, even if there's nobody there, right? But it's also keeping you healthy and looking good on the inside so that you can maybe get off that island and go find some folks to hang out with.
and find some other food, but you know, it tastes so good it doesn't matter. So I heard you say two things that I see very important. One is that I see it as adaptogenic for my body.
Mhm.
My body might need something different from someone else's
Right.
body, so it serves me well because it gives my body what it needs to balance in that area. So
Mhm.
it's not like, oh, Rose, you might be able to handle it, but I might not. It's going to work differently for everyone. Is that correct?
That is correct. Think about a
Uh,
baby. They have two systems that don't come online right away. One is respiratory, one is the gut, right? And that gut is extremely important because everybody thinks about this brain, but what
yeah.
people don't realize is there's a second brain, right? It's the enteric system. And part of our emotional, part of our physical, there's a whole long list of parts that come into play here, is keeping those brains talking, communicating, right? And
Can we
colostrum is
save that to,
adaptogenic.
can we save that to the gut brain to move into our GB6
Sure, sure.
conversation, but also that's super important. I hear what you're saying. Colostrum is a major part of that gut brain also, correct?
It is. And it
Okay.
is, you said something earlier, it is adaptogenic. Each person is, your body is not my body, right? Now, we're all made up of the same organs and chemicals and different things, but you may need something that I am comfortable with. I'm already there, right? So colostrum goes where your body needs it the most. Colostrum goes where my body needs it the most because of the way that it was built, right? But it brings to the table everything for you and for me, right?
Awesome. Uh, that's a perfect response, and I think it's so important for people to understand that it has to be that whole food colostrum. It has to have those components you were talking about. I put myself on a search a number of years ago. I have not found another one that has those components, so I dig in when I see one that looks like possibly a Novitate's colostrum, and I'll dig in, and pretty quickly I'm like, nope, that's out. Can't wouldn't look at that. So that is very important. You brought out something where you said you can cook with it. I have so many people ask about heating it, and you brought out, I want to just highlight the significance you said that because it's complete, because it's in its wholesome, you lose the nutritional value when you heat it. So I
No,
just kind of
so
put
many
ex
people take the fat out. And that
yeah.
fat not only is a carrier molecule, right? So it helps cross the blood-brain barrier, but it also is a protective molecule that keeps the heat at bay, right? So it keeps those bioactives bioactive. It keeps them from being destroyed through the stomach acids. So no, you need a whole food colostrum taken at a very particular time frame because it starts to transition pretty soon thereafter. But that's what we've had for the last 30 plus years, right?
And you haven't changed it. I appreciate that so much. Final question, how do you store it? You said that when you take it out and send it off that it's still in great shape. So how do you
Mhm.
store that you keep
Well,
it that well?
long time ago, I started looking at these canisters, right? Because I started prepping and putting food storage away and different things. And I found these great big canisters. Now, I also happen to know the owner, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I would get these 5 gallon buckets and I would fill them. And then what I would do is, yes, probably 10 years into it, I thought, geez, I wonder if it's losing any bioactiveness. And I would take a core sample out of it, send it off to the lab, and they'd come back and go, no degradation. 20 years, no degradation. 30 years, no degradation, right? So I put it in these food storage bins, right, that are commonly out there. A lot of people will store noodles and different things
Yeah,
and rice and what have you.
whole wheat.
Perfect scenario because it keeps the moisture out and it keeps whatever is in at a contained environment.
Love that. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate your comments today, Doc. That lets us know why it's valuable for all of us, all ages, all stages, food
Oh,
or
yeah.
not food. It's a great thing for us to have. And the way to purchase Anovite's Colostrum, they have an amazing program. You can be a customer just like you can be a customer with any other company, or you can have a business. And we respect all. We respect any. So, in response to this video and understanding this, if you're already purchasing, continue purchasing as you are. If you're on one of my social media platforms, what you will find is that in the description below, you will have links for where you can learn more, where you can order, and I'm always there. My personal contact will be there, and I'm happy to help you in any way. So thanks, Dr. Kleinsmith, for joining us. Appreciate it so much, as always, hearing from you and all the expertise that you have.
You're welcome. Thank you.